Today I'm gonna show you a mod that completely revamps all of the Ender's Cataclysm structure called Integrated Cataclysm. The mod basically overhauls every structure with features from the Create mod, the Quark mod, and the Supplementary mod. And first of all, as you can see, there's a lot of new texture and blocks added to the structure itself, giving it a bit more personality. The layout is pretty similar, but they changed some of the blocks, they added more traps, the mini-boss are still there, and some of the chests contain a bit more loot than what you usually find in the Cursed Pyramid. The layout is pretty much the same, you still have to find the stairs to go upstairs, and then jump down the shaft down to the boss room. The boss room received a small visual overhaul, but contains some way better loot that the structure usually offers. Because that's one thing that lacks in the Cursed Pyramid is some good chests. So let's move on to another structure, the Ancient Factory. And this one is the one that received the most change to all of its structure. So first of all, to enter, you can flick that. And everything here is now mechanical. There's gantry over here going back and forth with the mobs. There's another door here, just like that, that contains a bit more loot and a bit more modded loot than before. If you love to create, this is a great way to get material for it. There's a forge here that contains another Wither Skeleton Skull, just like the original mod, but also some fans, some depot, and some other stuff. And to get to the main room, all you need to do is push that button. It's gonna open the door, you're gonna be greeted with the Prowler and a few mobs, and here again there's a lot of moving parts back and forth, but you will also find some more useful items for the Create mod. And after beating the boss inside the loot room, there's also some integration with Alex Cave if you have it. Also, the loot of the chest has been changed to incorporate even more stuff from Create mod. The Frosted Prison is probably the one that received the least amount of modification to its structure. One of the most notable things is that the gate can now be opened with a crank. There's a few Create or Quark block here and there, but the whole structure is extremely similar. The main room before the boss fight is almost identical, with a few addition of some doors. The main room has got a bit more change, with some lit blaze burner around here, a few more blocks. So unfortunately, this place didn't receive a lot of modification from the mod. One funny thing I found is that this chandelier here can be moved with this rope. Now, moving on to the Sunken City. This one also received a visual overhaul with some block from the Create or the Quark mod. And from the inside, alright, so this one's entrance is completely covered in the ground. But anyway, the inside also didn't receive a lot of change. Although some trees are from the Quark mod, there is still a few more blocks around here, like some Experience blocks or some brass block. The loot is kind of unchanged from the normal structure. The Amethyst Altar received a little overhaul with now containing some corundum, and a bug that needs fixing with some weird floating water. There's a few new chests upstairs made in trumpet wood that can contain some enchanted books. And yet again, for the main room, it received a visual overhaul, but other than that, there is no added loot to this structure. Now, moving on to the Soul Forge, this one has received a huge update with moving cart along the structure, making it a bit more dynamic. The area of the monstrosity is pretty much the same, although I don't know how these cards will affect the fight once you fight this guy, but this is a great way to get some minecart for the Create mod. These minecart also contain sometimes some ancient debris, just like this one, so you might get a little bit more ancient debris value in this structure than usually. And if we go inside the loot room, there's a few more interesting blocks, like block of experience, block of brass, and netherite ingot inside the chests. This place is also now filled with piglins, so it's a good place if you want to trade with them and get some netherite. Now moving on to the Burning Arena. This one received a subtle change from the outside, like the pillar here that has a bit more detail, but the main change is in the inside. As you can see, there is no stairs to go up. There is only one way. Also, if you notice here, these are blaze rods. If you mine them in survival, you'll get a blaze rod out. But as I was saying, the only way to get up is to flick this lever here. And once you flick this lever, as you can see, there's a platform that slowly rises up. Also, make sure you don't miss it. Just like that. And you will rise extremely slowly. This is basically a test, a fight before going to fight Ignis. Because as you can see, if we go in survival, Well, there's 4 blaze spawner. This could be a good place to get some blaze. Ow. There's blaze rods everywhere. Look at that. There's like 20 even more blaze rods around this place. So you won't even have to fight blaze if you want these blaze rods, which is kind of defeating the purpose of Minecraft, but anyway. And once we reach the top, let's go fly. It's taking like forever. You still have 2 ignited revenant to fight, but with some added bonus. There's new chest containing, oh my god, netherite and netherite. Wait, netherite? Not netherite. There's 8 chests? Holy crap, that's a lot of netherite. You just need to come here to have a full set of netherite. This might be too OP, but anyway, I digress. Let's go up here. And as you can see, there's now a gate that you need to open to get out. And this fight here goes just like normal. You need to summon Ignis with the burning ashes, and the fight goes normally. The big difference is now that there's crates of golden apple on each side of the structure, which means you can actually stack up on golden apple, diamond, and netherite before fighting Ignis. The structure is basically handing you all the resources you need to fight Ignis. And finally, in the end, we have the Rune Citadel, and this one really looks like an evil tower. The only thing is that the inside is a bit disappointing. The outside is really beautiful, but this is the only thing before the maze downstairs. There's no shulker outside, there's no chest, there's nothing. It's weird that the other structures are giving you more loot, but this one is in fact giving you less loot. It's kind of weird for an end structure, but anyway, this one has received a few changes with new blocks from the other mods. Although, if you look around, there is 1 Ender Golem and 2 Ender Golem in a room with diamond blocks. There's still a few chests with mediocre loot, and the Ender Guardian fight is completely unchanged. This place is exactly as it's supposed to be in the normal mod. So these were all the changes to the structure of Ellender's Cataclysm, but there is something else that we need to talk. They changed something else other than the structure. And what they changed is the crafting recipe for some weapons. And this one, to be honest, I really don't like that. It locks some of the good weapons behind some crafting recipe from the Create mod. So if you add this to your mod pack and you don't want to delve into Create, well, you're kind of stuck. You will have to do it if you want to get these weapons. This counts for the Meat Rudder, the Laser Gatling, the Wither Assault Shoulder Weapon, and the Incinerator, making it cost even more Ignitium Ingot. If there would be a way to disable that in the config, that would be great, but unfortunately for now, there's no way to disable that, so hopefully they add that in the future and they hear my plea, but the rest of the mod is really good. Still just a bit unbalanced like the other integrated dungeons and structure, but the build looks really cool. So hope you enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe. I might do a tier list on integrated dungeons and structure in the future, just like what I did with When Dungeons Arise. Speaking of, you should go watch this video, even though it doesn't feature all the new structure that came out after the video. It's gonna give you a good idea of what you need to know about When Dungeons Arise. So as always, you're awesome, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!